So earlier today, I came across this clip on X from Speak Emmanuel Acho. It says here, Jerry Jones has done a really good job. And let's listen to hear what he has to say, and then I'll give my thoughts.
I'm going to say what I'm hearing Joy say. Jerry's actually done a really good job.
He's done his job.
Like, if the job of the owner is put the players in a position to win, the job of the owner is to put talent around the players. Like Joy alluded to it, you got Dan Quinn, who is a head coach of a Super Bowl, as your DC. You got Kellen Moore, who's so attractive from a job perspective that after he flames out in Los Angeles, the Eagles instantaneously hire him, and Nick Sirianni's job is on the line, asked some people, and he hired Kellen Moore. Then you got Mike McCarthy, who won a Super Bowl. Not only do you have Dak Prescott, you draft CeeDee Lamb while you had Amari Cooper. You have Ezekiel Elliott, and then you got Tony Pollard, who was a top running back that year that you franchise tag him. Then we kind of, Joy, you alluded to the offensive line, but let's not forget Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, Tyler Smith. That's all Jerry Jones. Nice then defensively, yes, last year at linebacker there were some voids, but nobody knew that Leighton Vander Esch's career would end because of a neck. But and DeMarion Overshawn, a third-round pick, they drafted a linebacker, tore up his knee. You got Trayvon Diggs. You drafted him in the second round, not even in the first. Deron Bland, you got him in the fifth round, not even in the fourth, third, second, or first. So I'm not mad at what Jerry has done. You go acquire Stephon Gilmore. So if I'm looking at it, James, it might not all be on Dak, obviously the last 30 years, but McCarthy, you got to show up. Truth be told, Dak, you got to show up because this roster's so nice.
But what I'm
Okay, so that's an interesting point. And honestly, when you think about it, the last 3 years, the Cowboys had one of the best rosters in the NFL. When you look at their overall regular season, 12-5, 3 straight years, they had the number 1 ranked scoring offense, number 4, number 1 ranked scoring offense. I think you would say that Jerry Jones and the front office did a pretty good job of assembling a very, very good offense. Defensively, pretty similar. Number 7th ranked scoring offense 2021, 5th in 2022, and 5th in 2023. So at some point, you do need the players who are on the field to show up when it comes to playoff time, and that has been something that has consistently gone wrong with the Cowboys for a very long time. I think you can argue and say, well, maybe that's partially Jerry Jones' fault. I wouldn't necessarily say that's the case. But especially if you talk about these past 3 years, the Cowboys have been in prime position to, make a push for a Super Bowl because based on the talent of their team. I do think the biggest problem has been Dak Prescott. He is much worse in the playoffs than he has been in the regular season. For whatever reason, he consistently fails to live up to those expectations that people have for him. It just sort of does. It feels like there's so much hype around the Cowboys that when it comes playoff time, it's like the pressure is so massive that the Cowboys seem to crumble under that pressure time and time again. And that part could have to do some with Jerry Jones because he's always talking up the Cowboys. He does a good job of always making sure the Cowboys are the front at the top when it comes to topics of discussion among the NFL. Even right now in a year, where the Cowboys losing the playoffs and they've basically not done much in free agency, the Cowboys are still the number 1 topic. And I'm even sitting here thinking maybe that's why the Cowboys aren't paying any of these players, because Jerry knows if we just sit around and do nothing, we're going to be talked about all offseason long. Like, what are they doing? They're doing nothing. And when it comes to training camp time now, as teams report back, the Cowboys doing nothing. Jerry's like, well, if we do nothing, then we're going to get talked about. That's good for marketing and gets us, tickets sold, all that kind of stuff. And so I really, you wonder, I do think Jerry Jones obviously wants to win a Super Bowl. There's no doubt that would help the Cowboys franchise even more. But over the years, it is pretty incredible how the Cowboys have stayed as probably one of the most talked about teams in the entire NFL. I think lots of I guess it's fun to talk about the Cowboys because there's always such high expectations. They always fail, and if you're not a Cowboys fan, at times it can be entertaining to watch things go down. I do think this past offseason, the Cowboys, they haven't really had an opportunity to do too much because of the fact that they're going to have to pay all these guys top-tier money, like Dak Prescott, like CeeDee Lamb, and like Micah Parsons. They still haven't done it. Jerry Jones came out a few days ago and was basically saying that they're sort of just waiting back and seeing what happens. I think that's where the Cowboys can improve. They need to take some more initiative there on those contracts because if they had paid CeeDee Lamb a lot earlier, he probably wouldn't be wanting $35+ million after Justin Jefferson gets signed. So I'm not saying that I fully agree with what Acho said, but honestly, he makes a good point. The past 3 seasons, the Cowboys were in prime position, and they failed to show up in those games. I do think you have to put some on the head coach there because it's up to the head coach, I think, to get guys ready for games and get guys mentally ready, and I don't think the Cowboys have been. It also comes down to the players and the way they've just sort of failed to live up to expectations. Last playoff game, Dak didn't show up. CeeDee Lamb didn't show up. The Cowboys defense, none of them showed up. So it sort of is what it is right now for the Cowboys, and we'll see if they can ever get over this theme of being successful in the regular season and then just flopping in the postseason. Who knows? But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you want more NFL content, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.